You don't have to worry about them not playing the game. It's going to happen. 6:02. We're going to have it right here on ESPN Arkansas.
And we need it. We need this basketball team needs a game. That's right.
Absolutely. Well, and you're getting a team that's really struggling in LSU. I know they played some really good teams of late. You know, they got and they've been destroyed in just about all of these games. They've lost the last 5 games by a combined 107 points.
Oh my goodness.
But you might see a couple of the Final Four teams amongst there. You know, they lost by 40 at Alabama, and just a few days ago were crushed by Tennessee in Baton Rouge by 21 points. The same Baton Rouge where Arkansas lost 60-57, and the same Baton Rouge that LSU still hasn't won a game since then. And they played on the road, and they played at home, but they just haven't been able to find a way to win. And they haven't even had any close ones outside of a 3-point loss at Kentucky. It's just been blowout after blowout. So there's going to be a game. It will be televised. We will have it right here on the radio. And as long as Chuck and Zim can get there, you're going to be able to hear it right here. So here's the situation. For those who usually go to the games or you had tickets and you're trying to make plans for it, fans are being encouraged. You can park all across campus. Campus is open. First come, first served basis for parking. Fans are encouraged to use lots 46, 56, and the Meadow Street parking garage, and University lots west of Razorback Road. There's no shuttle service. There will be a limited concession menu. So I don't know exactly what that means, but you won't have all the usual food, and there will be just a limited number of concession stands open. They still keep the gates open at 4:30. Looks like all students with an access pass will be literally given a ticket to the game.
Yes, sir. I love it. That's what I was talking about earlier. Yes, let's go. If you're up there, if I was on campus, Phil, that's what we'd be doing. We'd be putting our snow stuff on and walking up there to the game. Absolutely.
Well, and then you would have to walk up and ask for the ticket. In this case, as long as they have, I guess there's an app for students that's called the Access Pass, they're just going to get transmitted a ticket to the game. That is so cool.
That is cool.
And it'll just be walking to the game, too. Man, that would be so much fun to be a student, to know that it's, first of all, anytime on a college campus it snows, it's like you expect some wild snowball fight to break out any moment. And the ability to walk through campus, to go to the game through the snow, I don't know, a little bit of a magical feel to it. But those will be the only people walking, the students. Other than that, it's just going to be a mess.
And you're used to it, man. You walk up and down those hills. That's all you did when you were in college up there. You're like, how can I get across campus? I got 10 minutes to get to my next class. And you just like, it's all the way across. Yeah, you got to go get it.
And this one actually makes me laugh a little bit because the suites, at baseball games, at basketball games, those who have the means to sit in a suite, they're allowed to hang out for about an hour after the game is over and basically drink, I think is what it is. But they're not going to be allowed to do that. They're going to have to get out as soon as the game is over. So plans are changing a little bit for the game tonight, but there's going to be a game. Who is making their plans? Well, if you hadn't made your plans, you're probably not going. I hope we get a good crowd, though, and that's why on a day where it's, any home game now is must win. That's what I view the home games now. And you're used to sellouts, and it's a Tuesday afternoon. Thank goodness school is back in session. Otherwise, it would be Bud Walton Arena would be, I wouldn't say empty, but it wouldn't have that usual atmosphere that it usually does have. We'll do a lot of previewing Arkansas versus LSU. Must win, should win. LSU's really been bad of late. We'll talk about that with Clay Henry. He joins us, hour number 2. Get our usual countdown to the baseball season, 24 days until Razorback baseball. You got the Baseball Hall of Fame coming out with their inductee announcement later at 5 o'clock. Name that hog from Alumni Hall later on in the show, and lots of basketball to touch on, and should be a good show today. Looking forward to doing it. And Cardinals fans, I wonder how you're feeling about your new broadcaster. Chip Carey is going to be the new TV broadcaster for the St. Louis Cardinals. So since Joe Buck and Bob Costas didn't want the gig, I guess this...
He related to Harry, I'm assuming? That's his boy.
That's Harry's grandson.
His grandboy. How cool is that, man? That's pretty cool.
Man, I mean, the broadcasting's been in their blood ever since Harry. I mean, Chip's father was the longtime voice of the Braves. Chip's brother, I know it's his son, Josh Carey. I think his two sons actually.
How cool
are both baseball broadcasters. So, but it's interesting to see somebody that's so well known for one franchise. I mean, Chip Carey's been with the Braves for, gosh, it's been over 20 years now. Of course, he moved over from the Cubs to the Braves, and now going over the Cardinals, where his grandfather was the voice for years and years and years until, well, the story goes that he was fired because he was having an affair with the owner's wife. So,
that'll do it. That sometimes that'll put a wrench in everything.
It certainly will. I don't think that's the situation why Chip is leaving Atlanta. Something tells me he might be getting paid a little bit better over there in St. Louis. And your calls and texts throughout the show today. Yeah, BE's asking, will Nick Smith Jr. play tonight?
No,
doubtful.
No.
Doubtful. And again, it didn't even sound like he's not even practicing, according to Musk. I felt good about it yesterday, Matt, because we made it through an entire Monday show, talked a lot of basketball, and the words Nick Smith Jr. never arrived, never came out of our lips. We never even mentioned him. Thanks, BE. You just ruined the show. Well done.
I would love for him to play, Phil. Like I think everybody would love to see him play, but you got to go to war with the guys that are ready. And whenever he's ready to come back in, you put your arms out and you welcome your brother back into the team. But like you said, if he's not playing, there ain't no reason to bring his name up.
I just wonder what's different for Arkansas now. And it's been about 4 weeks, a little less than 4 weeks since the opening of SEC play. And if things are different from November to the middle of January, I tell you what, once you start SEC play, once you start conference play, the growing really begins. And it does look like this team has grown quite a bit since that LSU loss. They've played fairly well in the last couple of games and really did look good for the most part against Ole Miss. So lots to get to as far as that's concerned. Hopefully everybody stays safe on the roads today. And after the break, we are joined by voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, for a 2-segment conversation. So stay with us.
All I can do, I've done, but memories won't go.
5 seconds to go. Madden, right side. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Qualls with the dunk at the buzzer. It goes and Arkansas wins. It goes and Arkansas wins. Qualls with a two-hand finish. Arkansas wins the ball game.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Would you like to cut your heating bills without cutting comfort, lower your utility costs, while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system? Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC and plumbing needs since 1968. J&B Supply, with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Talks, but it don't sing and dance and it don't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, you're going to be hearing some Neil Diamond today. 82nd birthday. Happy birthday, Neil Diamond. And the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, is brought on here by Neil Diamond, too. Chuck, are you I don't know anybody who really dislikes Neil Diamond. Would you call yourself a super fan or just somebody that likes his music?
Well, I mean, I'm not a super fan. I'm old enough to remember Neil Diamond in his heyday, Cracklin' Rosie. But, I wouldn't call myself a super fan, no.
There are some of them out there. I just wanted to double check about that.
No, not in that group.
So the university sent out an update on game day and everything. It sounds like they're just not expecting as many employees to be able to make it to the arena. You're all right making it to the arena today. We will have a radio broadcast, right?
We will. We'll have a game. It's going to start at 6 o'clock, and we're going to go on the air at 5:30. And nothing's happening right now. It's I think there was some stuff in Benton County early this morning before the temperature got above freezing. But it's 37 in Fayetteville right now, and there's not anything going on. Sounds like before the day's over, though, there will be.
Yeah, going to be kind of ugly. But I know you're right across the street, so it's kind of easy to get there right now. Must win, should win. LSU is play. I'm surprised at looking at the final scores recently, and I haven't had my eyes on LSU since I watched the replay of the game against Arkansas. I'm just surprised they've lost 6 in a row. It's been ugly. I mean, this feels like an opportunity for Arkansas to make it 2 wins in a row and really try to get rolling.
Well, the thing about LSU, every SEC game they've played a quad 1 opponent. They have had a really, really difficult run out of the gate. You look at, Arkansas was, it was a quad 1 at the time, and I guess it still would be. Kentucky, A&M, at Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee. That's a pretty rough stretch right there. So I wouldn't read a whole lot into some of the scores. I think they've just played better teams. I mean, Alabama beat Arkansas by a pretty wide margin, and Arkansas lost at Auburn. And Tennessee's a team that they beat a lot of people like that in Knoxville. But I mean, your point's well made, though. LSU struggled to score. I think that's the biggest thing right now. You look at the point totals and the margins of victory. First thing you look at is LSU. I mean, the last time they scored 70 points in a ball game was at Kentucky, and they lost by 3. Everything else has been below 70, and all but one's been below 60, and they had one below 50. So they've struggled to score. And, Arkansas played really good defense, I thought, against Ole Miss on Saturday. If they play that kind of defense tonight, they'll win again.
I thought they played their smartest game in conference as far as they gave effort, but they didn't do anything silly against Ole Miss. The Hogs did. Chuck, I'm a Ricky Council fan. He seems to kind of be up and down a little bit going on. What do you want to see out of Ricky Council tonight?
I'll bet he comes back and has a big game, provided, the flow of the game dictates that. He didn't have good totals the other day, but there have been plenty of games where he has, and I wouldn't read a whole lot into it. Arkansas got a big performance off the bench from Pinion, and Walsh is starting to play really well right now. There's only one ball, and frankly, when you look at a lot of Ricky's points in non-conference, I mean he's not Joe Johnson, he's not ISO Joe, but I mean he's like ISO Ricky, and it's a lot harder to score that way in conference play. I mean you're playing better players. But Council's a good player. Council understands how to score, and I just think the flow of the game went in a different direction on Saturday. But I would expect him to come back and play very well tonight.
That's a good point you bring that up, because I think when they do run that zone, he's a great guy to have running in that high post area, free throw line extended, because that's his shot. And Chuck, also transition points, getting steals and getting fast break points. Ricky Council's just as good as finisher at anybody at the rim.
Yeah, and LSU will throw some zone at him tonight. Vanderbilt didn't play any zone, and Missouri didn't. Missouri played a lot more man than I think some people maybe thought they would. Ole Miss played a good bit of zone, and I suspect LSU will too. I think Arkansas. I thought Arkansas Saturday attacked the zone really well, and I think they've gotten better at it. Now, obviously, making a couple of threes helps, but I think they're getting a lot better at breaking down the zone too. And I mean, you're right. I mean, when they're facing the zone and Council's in the middle of the floor, and he's out at that high post, as I call it, or the free throw line extended. I mean, that's his area, and Ricky's good, and he'll be fine.
So the outside shot has improved for this team in the last couple of games, really. And I guess you expected from Pinion once he comes around to, all right, I'm open, I'll shoot it. I know he got taken out quickly after passing up an open shot against in the last game against Ole Miss, but then he got in and starts I think shooting and making those shots. Devo is like, I hate the term X factor in this case, but his outside shot these last 2 games, it makes me want to believe that all the hard work he's put into shooting is paying off. 2 games in a row, shooting 6 for 12 from long range. I mean,
we need that Phil. Man,
I think the team needs it. He looks like a good shot right now, honestly.
Confidence is such a powerful thing, man, and lack of confidence is such a powerful thing. And I think Devo went through a stretch where, he lost his confidence, and you could see it in the way he set his feet. You could see it in the timing of the shots, and by that I mean when he took them. You could see that things just weren't quite right. But, Devo's a veteran, and he's played in the most meaningful games. He's played meaningful minutes in the most meaningful games Arkansas has played the last 2 years. We had him on the show last night. I kind of made a joke about it being Devo time, but, if you're a veteran – and you've been to the Elite Eight 2 straight years, and that calendar's about to flip to February, and everything you do for the next 28 days is going to set up what happens in March. I think you step it up. I think, when you're the first one in the gym on game day, I think that's a tone that the leader of the team's got to set. And I make no bones about it. I say this respectfully to Black and Walsh and all the other good players and, whatever happens with Nick Smith, Devo's the key to this thing. He's the one that's going to lead them to wherever they go. And I believe that. I believed it all year long. He's the heart and soul of this team when they're playing well. And right now, I think he's playing his best basketball of the year. And confidence is a big, big part of it. And I would expect him to continue to play that way. He seems, I'm going to be honest, there have been times over the last year, year and a half when I wondered if Devo was really comfortable in his own skin. Being the leader, a lot of things going on when you're in a basketball situation and, you're being called upon to be the leader and things aren't going quite like you want them to, and you got a lot of people talking in your ear, and, you wonder which way's up sometimes. But when I look at him right now and I hear him speak and I watch him play, I'm beginning to see what I think, we thought we would see all along, and that's a mature guy that's ready to take this team on his shoulders.
Chuck, that's a good point because when they had a 4-game losing streak, it's so easy to hang your head, point fingers, get down on yourself, say, I'm not getting mine, so-and-so's not doing good, and what does Devo do? He goes out and has a couple good games in a row, and he is that leader, man. And that just tells you we got a solid team because you see a lot of teams do that, and then they fold, they start bickering, they start fighting or in locker room fighting, and I don't see any of that with this team.
I've not seen any of that at any point along the way. And, that's one of the things, frankly, that I look for. Yeah, having been around teams a long time, and I know you guys have too, you can get a feel. I mean, you kind of have an idea. And I've never sensed that from this team. I worried, quite honestly, when Council would score 18 or 20 and everybody wanted to talk about Nick Smith after the game. I did kind of wonder at some points, honestly, is there going to be a time when some of these guys start saying, man, I'm sick of talking about somebody else. Look at me. But I've not seen that happen. I know guys, when they have bad games individually, they feel bad about it. Mm-hmm. Even if the team wins. I know guys feel bad about, subpar individual performances. But I've never sensed that any of that stuff has crept in. And look, that's the death knell. I mean, when that stuff creeps in, it's over. I don't care how much talent you got. When that starts dominating your locker room, you might as well pack it in.
You lose belief, Chuck, when that
Absolutely.
happens.
Yeah. I've just not seen that happen.
I started getting worried watching the second half of the Vanderbilt game because, and I'm not going to say they looked like they quit. They played passive defense. And the last two games, even with the loss at Mizzou, I have not seen passivity at all. I've seen hustle. I've seen guys getting after it. I was a little worried that second half of Vandy. I'm really not that worried about it anymore.
Well, that was their worst half of the year, and that was a low point. And sometimes maybe you got to hit the low point. Now, I'm not naive. Ole Miss is not what Alabama's going to be. Ole Miss and LSU are not what Tennessee and Kentucky are going to be. So, I don't want to, minimize what's down the road because it's still very significant down the road. But for them to have a chance in those games, we've got to see what I believe we're seeing. And that's this team coming together. Matt talked about this, and I believed it too, that the way this schedule's set up, they've got an opportunity to get on a run. Mm-hmm. And frankly, they better because they got a big wall facing them there at the end. So I do get the sense right now that we're about to see, I'm not going to say the best this team has to offer because you want that to happen in March, but maybe the best we've seen so far.
Yeah, a little run. That Vandy game, like we were talking about, I don't like looking back and saying what if, but that Vandy game, easily we should have won that game. Missouri, we played a good game except for the last 4 minutes, so that could have been 3 in a row going into LSU. And speaking of a team that needs to play, I think the Razorbacks need to throw the ball back out there and play as many games as they can. After a win, after a 4-game loss, man, let's go play again. So, and they were talking about maybe canceling the game or not. I'm so excited they're playing the game tonight.
Now, LSU, they came in yesterday, and they're here. I mean, the only question is going to be what's it going to be like after the game and can they get home. But, This happens a lot in basketball season, and, I don't know, when you were playing, Matt, if it happened to you, it certainly happened over the years that I've done it. I mean, you get snowed in at places sometimes. You can't get out. Phil, it wasn't snow, I don't think, but you couldn't get out the other night. So,
yeah.
I mean, this stuff happens, and might happen to LSU tonight. I don't know, but now they'll play at 6, and nothing's changed.
I don't know about you guys, but whenever it snows, I cannot help. I have to make a snowball and throw it.
Throw it at somebody?
Yeah. Not at somebody. I'm probably target practice. I got in trouble once for throwing a snowball at a mass transit bus when I was like 12. So I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. Chuck, you make snowballs still on days like this?
Well, I don't know that I make snowballs, but I'll tell you what I do, and it's like a kid. I got to get behind the wheel of the car, man. I got to go out and drive. I got to throw that thing in 4-wheel drive. I got to throw some snow. I just like revert back, to my younger days. If a
little Tokyo drift slide with the back tires.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You got to test the biggest hill in town, and there are a lot of them in Fayetteville. And so if it snows, that's what I'll do. I'll go out driving around.
You ready for Bud Walton Arena to be one big student section? Sounds like they're giving the student, like any student with an access pass on their phone is just being transmitted a ticket. This is going to be a little different tonight.
I've been there when there was, almost a foot of snow on the ground, and I didn't think anybody was going to be there, and there were a bunch of people there. And I've been there when people just get scared and they don't come based on what if. So I know the crowd's going to be affected tonight. I have no doubt about that. And I hope students come. I mean, it's kind of like Commoners' Day at Wimbledon back in the day, man. You just let everybody in. And, let's have some fun tonight.
Yeah, let's have some fun tonight. And let's also take a break because we're going to stay with Chuck for another segment. We can take calls. We can take text in the next segment. 877-377-6963. More with Chuck Barrett on Halftime after this.
Oh, I love the way you dance. Oh, how you move, you see.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades, methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
2023 is finally here, and Red River Dodge of Heber Springs is here to help you start something new.
Like with the all-new redesigned Jeep Grand Cherokee, available in 2- or 3-row seating with all the luxury and safety features you love.
Or like a TRX with 700 horsepower. We guarantee that we have a vehicle that will fit your needs.
So for all your new Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep vehicles, visit us online at redriverdodge.com.
And remember, at Red River, we deliver during the Start Something New sales event.
A new year means it's time for new work boots, work shoes, safety shoes, casual shoes, fishing shoes, hiking boots, and cowboy boots. Gelco Outdoors has the largest selection and the best brands, ready to make your feet feel happy in the new year. Crappie fishermen, Gelco is stocking up for the spring season. Come check out the gear. 50% off clothing on the clearance rack, loaded with New Year savings. Gelco Outdoors, your store for work and the great outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Jimmy the Freak back out at Randall Ford 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. It is so good to be outside walking around in this fresh air. Okay, I'm just kidding about that. It's cold out here. Listen, if you're in the market, you're wanting to look at a vehicle, a new or a pre-owned, you come by, we'll pull that bad boy up over on the side where you don't have to walk all over the lot. We'll show you any vehicle, truck, SUV, Bronco Sport, new Bronco, whatever you want to look at. We'll pull it around where you can actually stay warm and in the comforts of our beautifully remodeled showroom. Come by and see us. We want your business. Listen, I know other dealers make you a lot of promises. We just want to earn your business. Give us a chance. Come by and see me. Hey, I've been selling cars here at Randall Ford since March of last year. I want your business. I know the Randalls do too. So come by and see us at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hot August night and the leaves hanging down and the grass on the ground smelling sweet. Outside of town and the sound of that good gospel beat. Sits a ragged tent where there ain't no trees, and that gospel group telling you and me it's love, brother, love, save brother, love's traveling salvation show.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
And voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, with us here on Halftime for another segment. 877-377-6963 if you want to call or you want to get in a text. Chuck, I heard you on the Morning Rush, I think it was yesterday, talking about your vantage point for basketball at Bud Walton Arena. Ty was acting like it's the greatest place to be. I like the vantage point, but I understand why you got to do a lot of ducking and a lot of diving with Muss right in front of you there, don't you?
Well, it's not just that. I mean, it's players going up and down the row and officials and all that stuff and coaches. I mean, it's hey, they're moving around, and yeah, sometimes you got to move with them. Sometimes you got to anticipate a little bit because oh yeah, there are times it's just a sea of bodies. If you look at a lot of the new NBA arenas, the broadcast setup now for radio and television is about halfway up, and that's really the best vantage point. And with the way you can mic everything up now, you can hear just like you're down there through your headsets. But everybody thinks that being on the floor is the best seat. It's kind of like being on the field at a football game. Go down there on the field and try to figure out what's going on the far side. I mean, unless you really know the game, you're not going to be able to. So I like to sit up, but nobody's come and ask me.
I know Muss moves around a lot. In your career, your history, what are some of the coaches? Who comes to mind when you think this is a coach that's like a jackrabbit out there just moving around all over?
Mike Anderson was. And I love Mike. But it was like we went through a couple of seasons there where I swear, I mean, every time there was a play, Mike Anderson was right
himself.
in front of me.
Yeah.
And Mike was quick. Muss is quick too. You know, we need one of those big guys over there that can't move very fast, likes to sit. That's a play-by-play guy's dream. But these guys are active, and hey, even old Kermit Davis was out playing a little defense.
He was, wasn't he? He knew.
Looked like he was.
He knew Pinion liked to set up in the corner, so he was setting up right there with him.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, he was making sure he could see him out of the corner of his eye.
Hey, you got to be careful sometimes, and it might depend on what color you're wearing. Forget where this was. It was on the road with the women's team. They were wearing the anthracite uniforms. Mike Neighbors was wearing, I don't think it was exactly anthracite, but it was a gray pullover. And one of his players threw a pass to him, thinking that he was on the team. I mean, you got to be careful with that sometimes, man. But I texted you about our situation at LSU, Chuck. I'm just glad you didn't have to go to LSU and be literally in the crowd with fans. I was practically spit on by somebody. So I'm glad you didn't have to go to LSU for that game.
Yeah, I was watching that game, and I didn't realize that I really had not looked over there in the corner where you were. And you texted me, and I looked over, and I'm not going to lie to you, Phil. I laughed because I've been in situations like that as one who, has spent the early part of my career leaning out of high school gyms with a handheld phone doing ball games every now and then. Yeah, that's a bad – yeah, you just do the best you can, man. That's all you can do.
Pretty much.
Chuck, I want to ask you a little bit about the NFL, and we had some wild games last week, and you get a couple matchups, San Francisco and Philly and Cincinnati and Kansas City. I thought Philly and Cincinnati looked the best out of everybody from top to bottom, and it might have just been who they were playing. I'm surprised that Cincinnati's a favorite going in to Kansas City. What are your thoughts on these two games?
I'm a little surprised that they are a betting favorite, but I think Cincinnati's really – I think they're really playing well defensively. Buffalo's no pushover. And, to hold them to 10 points, I just think right now Cincinnati's defense is going to I think it's going to give Mahomes problems. Now, I think Mahomes will have a heroic day. People talk about the ankle. I would anticipate him having a heroic day. But I don't know that Cincinnati's not the best team out there right now. Philadelphia, every time I watch them, I don't know about you, but every time I watch them, I think somebody's going to beat those guys. Nobody does. And, San Francisco's really playing great defense right now. They got a lot of momentum. If they were at San Francisco, I'd pick the Niners, but it's going to be I'm sure it's just going to be a zoo in Philadelphia.
Joe Burrow's so fun to watch. Jalen Hurts is getting better, but Joe Burrow, we were talking about this yesterday. We were kind of ranking the quarterbacks, and it's hard to find 5 better quarterbacks than Joe Burrow in the NFL right now.
I've just operated on the assumption that the Super Bowl champion is going to come out of the AFC. I may be wrong, but my thought all year long is because of the quarterbacks that the Super Bowl champion would come out of the AFC. And I think that, week in and week out, Burrow and Mahomes, and I know you can make an argument for some other guys, and some other guys have had better moments maybe. But, week in and week out, you look at what those two guys have done. It's hard to find 2 better in pro football, in my mind. I think that I think they are big reasons why their teams are where they are.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. They're fun to watch.
And they play hurt, and it never seems to affect them. I'm like you with Mahomes. I don't even think he needs 2 feet to make magic. And Burrow's like the same way.
He's just gonna get rid of the ball quicker. He's just gonna Dan Marino that thing. Yeah,
it's interesting. I don't know about you guys, but I watched Mahomes play the Razorbacks twice. I never thought he would be what he is. I thought he'd probably play. He'd probably find a spot. But I never thought he'd be what he'd be right now. And very honestly, watching Joe Burrow, we knew he was good. But, it's a guy that, rode the pine at Ohio State. So he goes to LSU and becomes a star. And, now, people talk about him in the same breath with Tom Brady, that he's going to be the next Tom Brady. So, when a guy hits that maturity spurt at 20, 22, 23, you just don't know always at 18 or 19 what a guy's going to be like at 24, 25. And, both these guys just, they, as you say, fun to watch is it's not much of a phrase, but I can't think of one better.
And then there's Brock Purdy. I mean, this is like an all-time story right now.
Carrying your lunchbox into work, yeah.
Man, I mean, we were comparing a little bit about Tom Brady from when he supplanted Drew Bledsoe. Yeah, but Brady was the backup. Purdy was the third-string guy. Like, he was practically on the practice squad. That's what makes that so incredible.
Well, you think about the great ones. Joe Montana. Nobody really thought that highly of Joe Montana coming out of Notre Dame. Tom Brady, 6th-round pick. I mean,
even Aaron Rodgers went late in the draft. Alex Smith was one. Aaron, I think, went 26 or something overall.
Mahomes went late in the first round.
Yeah.
I just think guys hit their physical maturation, and if the mental stuff matches up, those are the things that really make pro football players. I mean, just like you can't tell really how a college player is going to be based on what he does in high school, you can't always tell what a pro is going to be like based on what he's done in college. And, Purdy's he's in the right situation. It's perfect for him. And he's doing exactly what they need him to do. And, guys, I think moving forward, I think he's their guy. I think they're going to sink or swim with him moving forward. Now, he's not going to get silly money like some of them do, but this guy's got him a game away from the Super Bowl, and you can't say they're winning in spite of him. I don't know that you can say they're winning because of him, but he doesn't hurt him.
Well, Chuck,
he knows what he's doing.
There's a couple plays watching the divisional round game where he could have made a bad mistake and he threw it away. I mean, he had a chance, Dallas's defense, to make you make mistakes, and you're exactly right. He did not sink the ship. He didn't throw the interceptions to cost him the game. He kept the train on the track, so to speak.
I mean, sometimes that's what you've got to do. And I love a confident quarterback. I love a guy that's not afraid to try to throw it into a tight window. But these defenses right now are so good. I mean, they are so good. You can say what you want to about the Cowboys. They've got a Super Bowl defense.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes, you're just best to live to fight the next one.
Chuck, let's just wrap up here on one more thought on Arkansas LSU for tonight and where there can be a big difference. And we saw this against Ole Miss with Arkansas turning defense into quick points or just scoring off of the turnovers. You're going to get some turnovers from LSU, and they've been outscored in points off turnovers 107-26 in the last 5 games. I mean, that's where you can win this game, as they beat Ole Miss the same way.
No doubt. I mean, that's an area where Arkansas could take advantage. Based on the numbers, they've got a real good chance to do that. You go back to that first game, Trey Hannibal just beat him down the lane all day. I go back to that Vanderbilt game. Tyron Lawrence did the same thing the whole second half. If you can stop that and force turnovers from their guards the way you did against Ole Miss, Arkansas will have a good night.
Chuck, appreciate you always on these Tuesdays. Thank you. Have a great call, and we'll be listening tonight.
All right, guys. Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Thanks, Chuck.
That is the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, with us every Tuesday for 30 minutes. And Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast tomorrow morning, along with the Morning Rush. We will wrap up hour number 1 of halftime after this quick break.
Thank you from Art's Barbecue and Burgers for a successful year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to shout out our amazing community of customers that we are grateful and thankful for, each and every one of you. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to continue to enjoy our best barbecue, burgers, all-you-can-eat catfish every Friday night, and of course, the great sides and desserts. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers,
next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book, with a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment. 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today to schedule your consultation. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
It's a new year. Why not put a new-to-you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Baby loves me, yes, yes she does. All the girls have a sight, yeah. Says she loves me, yes, yes she does. Gonna show me tonight, yeah. Hey, she got the way to move me, cherry. She got the way to move me. She got the way to move me, cherry, baby. She got the way to move me. All right.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
What soup place?
There's a soup stand. Kramer's been going there.
He's always raving. I finally got a chance to go there the other day, and I tell you this, you will be stunned.
Stunned by soup?
You can't eat this soup standing up, your knees buckle.
Medium turkey chili.
Medium crab bisque.
I didn't get any bread.
Just forget it. Let it go.
Excuse me, I think you forgot my bread.
Bread, $2 extra.
$2, but everyone in front of me got free bread.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3. What? No soup for you.
I'm not playing that little scene from Seinfeld because it's soup weather, although it is. It is definitely soup weather. I am an incredibly proud parent because I've introduced my kids to Seinfeld, and they like it enough to the point where they want to watch it all with me. This is now a thing with us, and I feel like I can quit parenting now and let Seinfeld just take it the rest of the way. As long as they remember to follow the Good Samaritan law, they'll stay out of jail.
Just hold the
and
camera.
My job is all done.
Yeah, look at him. He can't get away from nothing.
That was the season finale, or the series finale.
That was the series finale. That's
and you
right.
know what? I remember at the time, like, thinking that was a big letdown, but I watched that maybe 6 months ago. It was a pretty funny last episode.
Well, it really gives you an idea of what you've been watching for the last, 12 years.
Yeah, they bring
and
back
how
all
miserable these people really are.
They bring back all those guest characters.
One of my favorite episodes is when Jerry starts doing Newman's Root, and there's like, nobody's ever delivered that much mail before. Got like 60%. Like, we knew the numbers were way too high.
Well, and of course, Newman gets so many great lines in the Soup Nazi episode, which we watched yesterday after we watched because we're watching season 7, which might be the best season, 1 through 28 or whatever it is. You remember the line that Newman had in the Soup Nazi episode? It's very simple. Jambalaya. Yeah. And so remember, this is the season that started with the engagement, the plan, the agreement that Jerry and George had
You
together.
shook on it. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. You keep saying that. Sadie doesn't believe that George and Susan are going to get married. She's predicting George leaves her at the altar. I can't spoil this for her.
Been smoking these cigarettes. I can't put them down, baby.
I can't ruin the thing for her because
how cool is that? That's cool though.
Nobody would have ever known that the glue on the back of an envelope would be lethal.
Yeah,
or
I mean, we want the cheapest envelopes you got.
You know, I was thinking about that when I was licking envelopes, the one I sent you too, Phil. I was like, is this going to be the death of me?
Which one was that?
The wedding card.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did get that. It's lovely.
My favorite episode, though, it's later on in the series, is the one where he finds the Merv Griffin set in the dumpster.
Oh yeah!
Oh my God, that one kills me every time.
Well, we're gonna watch all of them. It sounds and so Sadie wanted to try to watch it from the pilot episode. I mean, that first season is actually a hard watch.
You got to. It's just character developing. They don't know what they're doing yet.
They don't.
Yeah, but you get to about season 3, and if you notice season 4, the very first episode, they changed the theme music a little bit. You have a little kind of like, and then they go back to the other one. But yeah, about season 3, season 4, it starts, and you can't put it down.
So tonight at the house, after Arkansas LSU basketball, and they'll still have about an hour and a half before bedtime, we'll be turning on the Secret Code episode. No, we watched that one last night. That's right. The Pool Guy and the Sponge.
Oh,
boy. I don't know if my kids
are
ready
you
for the
sponge-worthy?
Well, they're going to have to be ready for it because they're watching it. Into the second hour after the break, and Clay Henry joins halftime.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Need to lose 100 pounds this year? Don't restrict your diet. Forget joining a gym. Instead, lose the weight of that cheating spouse of yours. At Mock Legal Solutions, there is no hourly billing. You pay one flat fee for your divorce. Call today, 479-769-1505. And let's be honest, it's closer to 200 pounds, right? Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a big winter storm is expected to move our way. We are expecting to see falling temperatures out of the 40s through the 30s. As a result, we will see the changeover from rain, possibly even some freezing rain, to some snowfall. Later on tonight, snow is expected to be heavy at times. Across the north, 6 to 10 inches of snow could fall. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Make sure you're subscribed to the Hit That Line Podcast Network. If you do, the podcast will automatically download to your phone. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back, your
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
And as we get into the second hour on a Tuesday here on Halftime, we say hello to the one and only Clay Henry, who is at our ESPN 99.5 studios in Northwest Arkansas. Clay, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm in here with Derek Ruskin and Tommy Kraft. I haven't seen Zach Orange, but I think he's around here
Well,
somewhere.
give him a kiss for me.
That probably won't happen.
Oh,
That's okay.
On the cheek.
Yeah,
just on the cheek.
just
blow
a
one
hello
towards him. It's
goodbye
okay.
kiss. Yeah.
Not going to hurt anybody.
All right, fair enough.
I gave him a thumbs
How
up.
was
There's all kinds of toys here.
How was the
There's-
duck hunting, Clay?
The ducks are safe. They weren't very many flying where we were, but it was great food, steaks and pork tenderloins and fried catfish and sometimes all of that at the same time. And it's but I was with Leo Crafton, Hal Honeycutt, Wayne Reed, and Tommy Nabholz at Whiskey Chute, which is South Phillips County. And we did kill some ducks, but it wasn't an epic hunt, but it was an epic trip. So college buddies, we're all kind of UCA guys and had a lot of stories from back in the day that would be very boring for everybody else, but it was great fun for the five of us, and got home safely. Nobody shot their eyes out. That's from the old Christmas movie, Don't Shoot Your Eyes Out. Or your eye out. I think that was.
It's just the eye, yeah. They were going to leave him at least with one eye.
Yep. So and my wife always tells me that before I go duck hunting. The week before I went to Red Hill Club with Jim Counts and some Northwest Arkansas friends, and we hunted Jerry Jones's club down there, Hampton Reservoir, Hampton Farm, some people call it. and killed a few ducks there. But by and large, this part of the season, that area, which is the lower White around the refuge on either side, is not really that great. The first half of the season, it was a lot better. So if you need, some ducks, I don't have them. I didn't
well, it sounds cool, man. Half the time those trips, it's about who you're with, so that's super cool, man.
Yeah, I love those guys, and it's special. We're getting older. We're all around 70 or older, and it makes those trips even better because you just know there's not as many of them going forward as there were.
Got a handful left. That's right.
Yep.
We've got a text in here from JB from Rogers, Clay, asking, what's your weapon of choice when you go duck hunting?
I got me a Beretta 12 gauge camo. And
what do you got? A modified choke? What do you?
I've got a JEB choke, special water fowler hunt choke. I tell you what's funny is that they got all these high dollar.
By the way, I have no idea what you guys
shells.
are saying here.
I think you usually modified. What's the
yeah, it's modified.
Improved or something as far as what you usually go duck hunting with?
Yeah, and I'm not shooting the long range, but I've got the fancy TSS, shotgun shells, which are high dollar, and then I've got the Federal number 4s, which is like $20 Southtown, pretty reasonable. Down at Red Hill, they wanted us to take. They had them on the bus that goes to the reservoir. Take you a few boxes of those Apex. And those are high blended, 5s.
That's what you were saying. Yeah, how'd those shoot?
They shot great.
Yeah,
not any better than my old Federal number 4s.
It's kind of who's holding the brush, huh?
Yeah. Well, if you shoot them when they're in range, it doesn't really matter what you got. It's when you're taking shots that you.
I always like the way the dove hunting. You let. I know this is duck hunting, but you let them land on the telephone wire, and then it's like, yeah, I can hit that.
You're not being sporty.
I'm
Matt.
kidding. I'm sorry.
This reminds me of, if you want to talk about sporting, this is the way I can connect my, what you guys are talking about with the thing that I usually like to talk about. There was, Chris, you remember Chris Maloney? He was a former Travelers manager, was a third base coach for the St. Louis Cardinals as well. He might still be, for all I know. I don't remember where. His nickname was Hammer, for reasons we can't get into on the show. But Hammer came back with Springfield when they got the AA franchise for the Cardinals as their first manager. And, of course, he knew everybody at the ballpark. And Hammer liked to walk around in just sliding shorts and flip-flops, and he would take an air gun from our groundskeeper, and he would go out onto the field, right, Raywinder Field. Remember, that's right by Interstate 630 in Little Rock, and there was the big, screen, the giant screen fence there, like 60 feet tall. And he would pick off birds off the top of the screen, 60 feet up in the air, practically naked on the field. And I was the only person who could see him do this. So that's how I can connect the thing that I know to talk about with what you guys are talking about, because it all sounded like Chinese to me right there. I had no clue. By the way, JB says great choice. Great choice in weapon, Clay.
Dudes being dudes.
That's right.
Yeah, so the Beretta has a really, really soft kick, and it's sweet to your shoulder, and it's
you don't even got to pump it, right?
No, it's automatic. Yeah, it goes.
First time I shot one of those, Clay, because I Browning BPS, pump action, and so that's what I grew up shooting. And then I shot a Beretta, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And so it takes you a little while to get used to it.
Yeah, I had an old Remington that kicked like a mule, and Mark Powell, who's my orthopedic surgeon, and he's told me, get rid of that gun, get you something that's a little bit more protective for your shoulder. So I did, and that was a good excuse to spend some more money, and told my wife, the doctors prescribed this.
What retirement's about.
And it's always the gun's always $300 less than whatever you pay for it. Yeah, maybe that was just about $700.
Yeah, well, I got a deal though.
I got a deal.
Really deal. I mean, I've heard of her deals when she walks out of anthropology. It's like
it was on sale. Yeah.
Clay, even with all of this, you talk about the hunting and all that, I'm just so super proud. And, Matt, you should be too. And, Matty, I know you are as well, because we got Clay to listen to music that's not George Strait.
I saw that.
On the drive to duck camp. He listened to Dope Lemon
about
and
6 tunes.
And he listened to Weird Al Yankovic.
That's what I was tip of the hat, Clay.
I'm curious how far he made
about
it with
5.
with Weird Al.
Only about 5. But I liked Word Crimes. Is that it?
That's the one. That's the one that any journalist, anybody that makes their living through words, that's the song for you.
I listened to that once, twice. I tried to do it twice. I was I can't do it. But Dope Lemon was definitely cruising music.
It's cruising music. That's it. The lights start going down. You just got about 2 hours to drive. Just throw it on. You're there.
And I did, and it was really good. And I appreciate that. Y'all have expanded my repertoire, and so I've got some new things to bore my wife with.
She won't be bored. Nobody's bored with Dope Lemon.
As soon as I listened to all that stuff through the mountains, and when I got past Augusta, heading due south into the prairie, I switched back to George Strait.
Fair enough.
I really did.
We go back to the things that make us comfortable. That's for sure. And speaking of things that make us comfortable that we're used to, Charlie's on the phone here, or as Clay likes to refer to him, and like Charlie likes to refer to himself, Tuna, in the third person. Hey, Charlie, what's up?
What's up, guys? Man, I got to join in on this conversation. Phil, you telling me you didn't do any sort of duck hunting in Pittsburgh back in the day?
Charlie, I have shot a gun like once in my entire life. Yeah, and this is the great thing about this. All across Pennsylvania, I grew up in Pittsburgh, in the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
All across Pennsylvania, kids get the first 2 days of deer season off. I mean, the movie The Deer Hunter takes place in western Pennsylvania. There's plenty of deer hunters. I just didn't know any. Nobody ever took any of that time to go deer hunting in my neighborhood, so it just wasn't. It wasn't part of my life. So yeah, it's never been my thing. I will say this: I'm not interested in deer hunting. I might give duck hunting a chance, a shot.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So see, all you got to do is just go with Matt and Clay now. But hey, Clay, I just want to know, have you ever been down? I know this is probably going to be a stupid question, but I don't care. I'm going to ask it anyways. Have you? I know you've been down there. You've been to Stuttgart before and did duck hunting. Is that one of your main spots?
Well, my wife's from DeWitt. She's in Arkansas.
Okay.
You got to go through Stuttgart to get through DeWitt. There's no other way to do it. And I've hunted.
I know a lot of people.
I've hunted around Stuttgart. I've hunted around DeWitt. An awful lot of times. Yeah, I can't count them all. So I've got some Arkansas County ducks that are mounted on my wall. There's 3 greenheads. There's 2 wood ducks. There's 3 pintails. All from Arkansas County.
Well, fishing's always been my thing down here, and I'm a South Arkansas boy too. So a lot of people would laugh at me, but that's always been my thing. Like, I don't know. I just I did hunt more when I was little, but duck hunting, I love the thrill of it, just the whole idea. So, I mean, is that your favorite thing, duck hunting, or do you just kind of like them all? You do them all. You too, Matt.
Yeah, I'm not much of a deer hunter, just because that's a fall thing, and I've always been busy in the fall.
Mine was turkey hunting. Me and my dad. My birthday is in April, so that'd be the only day I'd get to miss school. He'd take me turkey hunting every on my birthday every day. So that I'd always go turkey hunting. Yeah.
I mean, Matt, is that also maybe a reason that wasn't football season or basketball season?
That's it. And you can't go. Yeah, you can't fish till after turkey season. There's kind of the rule. Yeah.
Well, I love to keep all this going, but but I can't hog the line. I know old Traylon Burks, being down here. Hog hunting is hot down here. Everybody loves to do that. And I can tell you this right now, old Tuna ain't going to be sitting up in the tree about to jump on top of no hog with a knife and kill him. That ain't happening. That ain't the Tuna's thing. I ain't got the guts to do that. But I'm excited about tonight, guys. The whole pink out thing, I just think is a really cool thing. I know they were talking about Danielle was going to get honored during the game, and I guess, or halftime, whatever. I mean, she's obviously been a huge thing for her. It's just such a great cause. I don't know what. I guess it'll be full blown pink. I don't really care. I just think it's really awesome and excited for it. And old guy that wants to come and talk a little stuff, hey, you better bring it tonight, because every time he touches the ball, he's gonna get so.
Yeah, have you guys seen this? Have you seen what Charlie's referring to? It's Adam Miller, who goes by @AceWolf44. Charlie, good to hear from you. Goes by @AceWolf44 on Twitter. This has been posted all through the Basketball Performance Center, on every door practically, and probably in everybody's locker as well. A tweet that Miller put out on December the 30th, when LSU's record was 12-1. Say, we in Fay at Ville with the at symbol. We in Fay at Ville. I don't even know what that means. Next time, bring y'all smoke. We gon' run through it. Probably is like me. All right, we in Fayetteville next time. Bring y'all smoke. We gonna run through it. That's what he said. They've gone 0-6 since then. And that tweet is all over the locker room and the basketball performance center. I know we talk about sometimes I think bulletin board material is a little bit overdone and a little bit overplayed, and they're using this, man. They are using this.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. So did he go through the locker room or something? Did he go through like Arkansas? Or he just put that out today?
No, he put that out on December 30th.
That's why it just seems weird. Yeah. I got the Hogs by 10. I mean, I think we win. I think we go out. We're going to play good tonight, Phil.
Well, and I think when you listen to Matt McMahon talking about his own team, they're not in a good place.
They don't know who they are. They don't know. They have no identity.
Well, they're down one of the guy that usually starts for them, Justice Hill. I think he's missed. It's been three or four games due to personal reasons. I guess they're expecting him to come back at some point, but just like Chuck mentioned earlier, I mean, they have trouble even getting to 70 points. 65 is a little difficult for them to get to. And the coach, just on the coach's show the other day, was like, we're in a bad place right now. You know, getting crushed at home by Tennessee the way that they did. Maybe you expect that because Tennessee's really good, but just judging by the coach's own words, they're in a bad place, and the Razorbacks have bulletin board material ready to go.
That's what you want to hear, and you just want to put them in a worse place.
Yeah, we're getting it together, and I hope these officials let them play. Let's let the athletes be athletes and let them play the game of basketball, and we'll be all right.
Have us a nice hour, 45-minute game.
Well, yeah. No more 2-hour, 45-minute
We don't need four
game.
players fouling out. Yeah, exactly.
I did have to laugh a little bit, though, because, 2-hour, 45-minute basketball game, look, I get that's a long basketball game. That's a short baseball game. I'll take a 2-hour, 45-minute baseball game every day of the season, and you're not going to get it very much. Well, this year it might happen a little bit more often. We'll dig into this basketball game a little bit more with Clay Henry on halftime right after this.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Everybody shut up. Everyone listen up. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Turn me up. If you can't write in the proper way, if you don't know how to conjugate, maybe you flunked that class, and maybe now you find that people mock you on. Okay, now here's the deal. I'll try to educate you. Gonna familiarize you with the nomenclature. You learn the definitions of nouns and prepositions. Literacy's your mission, and that's why I think it's a good time to learn some grammar. What? Now did I stammer? Work on that grammar. You should know it. It's less or it's fewer. Like people who were never raised in a sewer. I hate these word crimes.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I don't know if you had the mic on there or not, but I do know all the words to this. You should, especially if you're working with words. Clay Henry's with us.
Or an
here on
English
Halftime.
teacher.
Or English. Do they work with words?
Right.
You would know. You would know.
I'm gonna have
right?
to ask Paula J. Yeah, I'm gonna see if she knows. Yeah,
I'm gonna guarantee she knows that song.
she's pretty smart. She knows how to do words. That's for sure.
When you mention the word conjugate, it just gives me nightmares because it takes me back to the 10th grade at Little Rock Central when my father demanded that I take Latin 1 and Latin 2.
Oh, nice.
Semesters.
You've used that a lot in your writing career, haven't
Conjugation
you?
is what that is. Well, I mean, you every once in a while there's I tell you the odd thing is I'm into fly fishing, and a lot of the mayflies that we imitate, the hatches, they have Latin names to those bugs, and you'll be out in the river and somebody will say that's the blank, and it'll be a long Latin name, and I just like, it's a mayfly, dude.
How long you been waiting to put that? Put that in a sentence.
That's why we gave them English. We gave them English names so we could, not have to worry about remembering all 54 letters that go into it. The scientific name.
I came home one day. I was so frustrated because it was all just rote memorization. The Latin stuff was, and I said something to my dad. I said, "This is a dead language, you know that." And he says, "Well, it's not a dead language. If you want to do," and then he started mentioning how many times it comes in handy when he's doing the New York Times crossword puzzle, and I was like, "I will never do that, ever, 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 ever." Just made me so mad. I mean, I struggled for a long time to get a passing grade. Finally, at the end, aced a couple of tests and got it up to a B. And my dad was pleased.
Hey, you saw that there were Charlie mentioned this in the phone call the last segment. What's wrong with pink uniforms? Apparently, some folks have a problem with Arkansas wearing pink uniforms. By the way, this was listening to Muss's show yesterday. I thought this was the kind of thing that was just like kind of imposed on the team. All right, guys, we're in pink uniforms for this game. Here you go. No, this was like the
players got to vote on it.
This was a decision by the team to actually go full pink uniforms, which, I mean, women's basketball has been doing that for a long time. They had pink zone games for breast cancer awareness. Heck, I mean, I've seen baseball teams have done the same thing. Mother's Day, guys use pink bats in Major League Baseball. I mean, it's not a problem wearing pink. I mean, most of us at least have a couple of pink shirts or something like this. I don't have a problem with this. Do you?
No problem at all. I used to wear a pink golf shirt when I played in tournaments. Sunday, I wore a pink shirt. I thought it was just – that was a time when that was done a little bit more. But I think they'll probably look great. I bet they play great too.
I'd go with a salmon. I couldn't really ever get on the pink, so I'd go salmon. Yeah.
Salmon is pink.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's pink enough. Yeah, I think there's various forms of pink.
I love it, Phil, especially if you're giving back. And you're doing it for a reason and a cause. Man, yes, sir. That's good for them.
It'd be hard for me to take seriously anybody that complains about it. I just like, no, not really, dude. Don't go there.
Well, it's, I felt the same way, but it's like, all right, why would anybody have a problem with it? I mean, like, well, go ahead. You're going to find people that have a problem with it. It's just kind of how it is.
There's just people that want to be offended or don't like something or be critical. It's like, well, you got up on the wrong side of the bed.
Well, there's a feeling like you're feminizing men if you put on pink. I mean, that's where they're coming. That's where they're coming from. It's completely ridiculous. Plus, you're playing a school that wears purple and gold, so
doesn't get much more feminine than that, right there. Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of that, it was like I saw at the LSU women's game last week, Arkansas on Thursday against LSU in Baton Rouge. I have never seen so many men wearing sparkly pink jackets. They are, and this is an achievement by Kim Mulkey. There are men that are dressing like Kim Mulkey in the crowd at the PMAC now. I've never seen, I know there are I've seen some fans at Bud Walton that will wear the bright red jacket. I don't know if I've seen men that have bedazzled it or sparkled it out or anything, but down at LSU, man, you got dudes wearing bright,
they're below sea level down there,
sparkled jackets.
Yeah, below sea level. You don't know how they're thinking down there. We don't need to bedazzle our jeans anymore. I don't know how they. Whatever.
Well, it was an achievement by Coach Mulkey for sure. Basketball. We didn't really get into this too much, Clay, in the last segment. Basketball. I mean, we're used to seeing the Hogs get on a roll at this point of the season, and I think we look ahead. I mean, look, Baylor just beat Kansas in their building at the Farrell Center. You get Baylor on the road Saturday. Arkansas still has not won a road game this year. So I don't know, what is getting on a roll? Is it a long winning streak? Is it, 8 out of 9, something like that? We're just used to seeing it at this point. From the effort that we saw against Missouri and the effectiveness again against Ole Miss, is this a team that can get on a run as we've been used to seeing these last 2 years?
Well, I thought that they would play hard and have a good shot at after the Vanderbilt performance. I thought you were going to see something really pretty special at home, and they gave you that. I thought they played hard. They played hard at Missouri, but it's
those last 4 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I thought they, and I suspect they're going to get. This is a payback, and as Nolan always said, paybacks are a dog. You don't. Isn't that what he said, Matt?
That's very. He was wearing those the red cowboy boots, the burgundy cowboy boots that day. Yes, sir.
Yeah, payback's a dog, and I expect that Arkansas will be full-on dog tonight. That they lost at LSU, and That one probably hurts as much as anything because I'm not sure LSU is very good. And Arkansas should have won that game. Did not shoot free throws very well. Did some other things, really poorly when they had the lead. Let them off the mat. And I suspect that they'll play really well tonight. And regardless of whether you had the bulletin board material that number 44, is that who it was, number 44, provided, they will probably smoke them, to use his word.
I think Devo's going to continue to play well. If I was looking around to I think Ricky Council bounces back after his poor performance, and not that it was that poor. We had other guys step up. He can have an off night. I'm a Ricky Council fan. I think Ricky Council is going to put on a show tonight, and I think Devo's going to continue doing what he's been doing. And Clay, it's funny when we make a couple outside shots, it just seems like the confidence as a team grows, man. They just seem to make better decisions when they make a couple outside shots.
Well, I think it gives you energy, and a made shot is energy, and I think that'll fuel their defense. And I mean, you like it to be the other way around too, that the defense fuels the offense, and if you've got them both working, well, that's when Razorback basketball becomes a juggernaut. Don't know whether we're close to that yet, but headed that direction. And I think that these coaches will do a good job of having the team prepared for the things that LSU does. And one of them is they don't shoot great, so that's a plus. They have a hard time scoring, so this might be a game where if Arkansas plays well early, they can get them a 15-6 lead or something like that, and just keep their thumb down on them. Killer instinct.
877-377-6963 if you want to give us a comment about Arkansas basketball for tonight or in the future. Do you think this is a team that's about ready to get on a roll? I think beating LSU, I don't want to take it for granted right now. I just sort of expect them to beat LSU because it is must win. It's a team you've lost to this year because of the bulletin board material, and because I think Arkansas.
We got bigger problems. If we lose to LSU at home, then we got bigger problems.
Well, they're just better than LSU is right now.
Absolutely.
I think that loss, the first game of the conference schedule, I don't know if I'll call it a fluke, but I don't see Arkansas going 4 for 25 from the 3-point line in the ball game. I don't see them attempting 25 threes in this game. So we'll get into more of that after a quick break. First, I want to remind you, hey, since there is a game today, they are not going to postpone it. They are not going to cancel it. It is going to be on television. Tom Hart, Jimmy Dykes, and Marty Smith are on the call. A great place to watch the game tonight would be Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith. They'll have half-price apps and half-price taps during the game. That's the case any Razorback game throughout the basketball season or the baseball season as well. And guess what today is? It's Tuesday. That's right. It's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grilling Cantina today. So they've got crispy beef or chicken tacos for just $1 today. Pork carnita tacos are $2.95. Raise it up to $3.95 for brisket or pork belly tacos. Great deals every day with their daily specials at Joe's Grilling Cantina at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith, right across from Harps. They're open Tuesday through Saturday. Go to joesfortsmith.com or download the Waiter app, and you can order on the Waiter app. Clay Henry stays with Halftime. We'll be back right after this.
Goodbye. Farewell. So long. Vaya con Dios. Good luck. Wish you well. Take it slow. Easy come, girl. Easy go.
2023 is finally here, and Red River Dodge of Heber Springs is here to help you start something new.
Like with the all-new redesigned Jeep Grand Cherokee, available in 2 or 3-row seating with all the luxury and safety features you love.
Or like a TRX with 700 horsepower. We guarantee that we have a vehicle that will fit your needs.
So for all your new Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep vehicles, visit us online at redriverdodge.com.
And remember, at Red River, we deliver during the Start Something New sales event.
I am not who you say I am.
I'm a pastor.
I am a caregiver.
I am a father.
I am a friend.
I'm a doctor.
Chances are someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, but recovery is possible. Help starts when we stop stigma, view each other with compassion, and reach out for help. Call 1-800-622-HELP to get started. This message sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and supported by grant number 2018-AR-BX-K085 awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Thank you from Art's Barbecue and Burgers for a successful year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to shout out our amazing community of customers that we are grateful and thankful for, each and every one of you. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to continue to enjoy our best barbecue, burgers, all-you-can-eat catfish every Friday night, and of course, the great sides and desserts. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe and a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten love dreaming. I'm walking on a cloud, I can't understand, Lord. I missed a hole in your hand. I walk my way, and 1,000 violins began to play. Or it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear, Lord. I missed it the moment you need.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hey, Henry with us as well here on Halftime as we take you through your afternoon. 24 days before the start of the college baseball season, and Clay was visiting today with Matt Hobbs, Arkansas pitching coach, who is, I wouldn't say this about everybody. Matt Hobbs is just cool. He's an easy conversation. He puts people at ease. I think it's one reason he's such a great recruiter. But he's just cool. Not every pitching coach is. How was that conversation today, Clay?
It was really good. Probably the best thing that I learned was how he handles catchers. And I think we all just assume, well, the pitching coach handles the pitchers, right? But no. And he's had, Casey Opitz and Michael Turner, and they were, they called pitches. We knew that. And we always just kind of suspected, well, those guys are veterans and they're superhuman catchers and they've worked with pitchers, so they give them some freedom. And Matt's like, no, I always want my catcher to call the pitches, and says, why should I call the pitches? He's got the best seat in the house, and he's got 3 new catchers. One was hurt in the fall, but didn't get to work with him much. But he's healthy now. But they're in the process of making sure of how that's going to work with them calling the pitches again. And he went through the process of how they do that, and he says, I stand behind the catcher in a lot of these situational throwing sessions so that we can talk about all that. And then, then they have heavy-duty meetings during the week with the catchers to prepare them for calling pitches. And so I think that's going to continue. Now, the clincher to all that is that they've got an earpiece, and he'll be talking to them, and, he can – if there's a critical situation in the game, he might step in and suggest this or that. But and he says he talks to the catcher between innings as much as the pitcher. He wants the communication to go through the catcher to the pitcher. So I was fascinated with all that. I played a little catcher when I was like 13 to 17, and I just love that position and the leadership potential that is at that position, and he thinks they're going to be strong there again.
I think you mentioned some of the catchers in previous seasons. You go down the line. Grant Cook took you right into Casey Opitz. He took you right into Michael Turner. There's a difference though with Turner. He didn't get a chance to catch as often as he thought he should at Kent State. He DH'd. He played first base, and he had an injury as well. So they put a lot of faith in somebody that really hadn't been able to catch on a full-time level. And it's a little bit of like the same thing right here with this situation, because you look at the 3 catchers. I think Cal Kilgore, who came from New Mexico State, I think he's firmly a backup of some sort, and who knows if he'll travel or not. The other 2, Parker Rowland, he's on his 3rd different school. Started at Arkansas State, went to a junior college after that, and then there's Polk, who was a backup at Oklahoma and didn't play, all the time. Obviously, he's good. That was the national runner-up, Oklahoma. So there, you just put your faith in the idea that the coaches know what they're looking for, and that somebody's going to step into the role and perform at the same level that we've seen the last few catchers.
Yeah, he also mentioned James McCann and said they thought McCann would be here to kind of talk to these guys. We talked a little bit about Turner, and there was some criticism of Turner last year about the way he caught and that he had his leg out.
It was the blocking.
Yeah, and Matt spoke to what he provided with that stance, and that he got lower and was able to – and they had a lot of sinker ball pitchers. And when you're really low, you are raising your glove up to a sinker ball. He would start out in the lowest of lowest positions and would come up, and said that he could steal pitches for a sinker ball pitcher, which is extremely rare. The umpire thinks those pitches are going out of the zone, and they call them balls, and that they were able to, because he was so low, the umpire would be able, he says the killer is when you're up high and then you go down and the umpire sees the catcher going down to catch it. It may be a strike, but because he went down with the glove, it's a ball. And he said they just thought that he did a wonderful job with those low pitches and the way he set up. And I was firmly in the camp that, okay, he's putting himself in an awkward position for blocking because of that. didn't see the value, and so maybe young catchers should understand that framing of pitches and giving the umpire the best look. Not stealing pitches, but just framing them.
How common is
umpire.
that, guys? How common is that for because I kind of translate it back to when I was quarterback, and if I wanted to call a play, I could call whatever play I wanted as long as I had a reason behind it, as long as what we went over and watching film as we talked about. It's like, why did you call this play? Well, I saw the safety here, I saw this, and that's why. And so then it's okay. So how common is that for pitchers or for catchers to get to call their own game?
I think in college baseball, it is.
It's not that common. Yeah,
it's rare. It's rare to have a team like Arkansas where, they can call a pitch from the dugout if they want. Here's the other aspect too: the pitchers can shake off,
right?
They certainly can.
They want these pitchers to believe in what they're going to throw.
Mm-hmm.
And they want them to feel like I'm throwing the pitch that I believe in. So the whole idea of being on the same
But
page
it's based on scenarios and situations, what I'm asking, Phil, right? Like when it was 3rd and 7, I couldn't check to a play that wasn't conducive for 3rd and 7. So it's the same kind of concept with these guys. They got to have a reason. But I love it because I think it gives the catcher and pitcher more confidence while they're out there.
Agreed. Hey, we got a couple of callers on hold here, guys. Let's take the phone calls. This is a basketball phone call because Eduardo in Clarksville smells a win. I don't know if it might be a little bit difficult to smell outside in the cold once it starts snowing, but I hope you're smelling the right thing there, Eduardo. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing better, getting over my Cowboy loss. I was hoping to call in Monday and say, how about them Cowboys? But it was not to be. What a great play, though. In sportsmanship, what a catch. What is he the tight end for the 40? What's his name, Kittle?
He was the player of the game. I thought he was the man of the match, no question.
What a catch. I'm happy for Dre Greenlaw. I think the 49ers now, not to disrespect nobody on the AFC, but I tell you this, I think they're going to go on and win it all now. As far as the Cowboys, I don't know. We've been knocking at the door. Certainly defensively, they're there. Offensively, I don't know. It was a game that I thought Dak had to step up and play a clean game, and that didn't happen. We turned the ball over. That can't happen. And that ultimately done us in. But as far as the game tonight, I'm starting to see some mental toughness in this young basketball team. It really started in Columbia, and if it hadn't been for the officiating, they'd have won that game. I believe the mental toughness is starting to come around in this young team. And I don't know about you guys. I hope Nick Smith is able to come back and play at some point, not only for this program, not only for our fan base, for himself. I'd love to see the young man get some playing time. Certainly he's going to be one and done with his talent. But I tell you this, if he does, maybe this team might do a little dancing in the big dance, and it's coming soon. So I hope this young team starts to, gel together. I hope he comes back. Thank you for taking my call. Stay aboard the basketball hall train. Maybe they'll get it rolling.
Eddie, thank you for listening. It is always a pleasure. And Woods is up next. Woods, you're on the air. How are you today?
I'm good. I don't really like following up Eddie.
Nobody does, but somebody's got to bat second, and that's you.
So I'm the bunter. I bunt, and I move him over to second base, right? No, you guys were talking my love language, which is catchers. They're the unspoken heroes of the baseball field, and my catchers never got to call pitches, but and I know my pitching coaches didn't love it when I always shook off and wanted to throw to my strengths. But I do appreciate what Hobbs is doing there and letting, these catchers kind of develop, because most of them are going to go on to play professional baseball. And you've got to learn how to do that at some point. You can't just sit back there and take signs from a guy. You kind of got to learn how to call your own game. And I think it's pretty cool what they're doing. But the catchers don't get enough respect.
I think part of it too, Woods, is that pitchers want to feel that it can be a collaborative process instead of being demanded. This is what you're pitching. This is what you're going to throw. This is what you're going to throw, and you have to throw this pitch on this count, or you're not allowed to throw a slider at any point. I think they want to feel like it's a collaborative process. And when catchers are involved in the choice of the pitch that they want the pitcher to throw, that's the definition of being collaborative. Instead of it being like Dave Van Horn is not like he's not a dictator when it comes to that. A lot of other coaches are because they're control freaks. He's not a control freak at all. I mean, they want their catchers to be as involved in the game as anybody else, and I think that has a lot to do with, and it's simple to put it in terms of pitching success, but I think that has a lot to do with pitchers believing in their catcher and in what they're about to throw. And we'll get into that a little bit more, but we've got to take a break right now. Woods, always a pleasure talking with you, and I know you're calling. That means it's baseball talk. 877-377-6963. We'll wrap up hour number 2 after this.
Home's the most excellent place of all.
At Crane Used Cars on 71 South, it's a new year, and Joe Pulliam, dealer-operator, has bigger and better deals for 2023. Like up to $2,023 more for your trade. That's right, up to $2,023 over Black Book. With a great selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by the Crane Commitment. 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Joe knows customer service with a 5-star rated service before and after the sale. So come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 Highway 71 South, Fort Smith.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Need to lose 100 pounds this year? Don't restrict your diet. Forget joining a gym. Instead, lose the weight of that cheating spouse of yours. At Mock Legal Solutions, there is no hourly billing. You pay one flat fee for your divorce. Call today, 479-769-1505. And let's be honest, it's closer to 200 pounds, right? Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
Happy New Year, everyone. Hi, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination. That's right, we've had enough. Thanks to our live market value pricing, our prices are dropping and our customers are saving now. And you can too on a great selection of Rath road-ready vehicles, the best used cars you can buy. Plus, our non-commissioned solution specialists are there for you. Let them worry about making all the numbers work. It's what they're paid to do. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off break brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. For even more savings and protection, ask about our new Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They'll help you keep your car in tip-top shape while saving you money. So if you're like us and you want 23 to be the best year ever and you're ready for some inflation elimination, start today by driving better in a nicer, newer car from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Think, let your mind go, let yourself be free. Let's go back, let's go way on, way back when. I didn't even know you couldn't have been too much more than 10. I ain't no psychiatrist, I ain't no doctor with degrees, but it don't take too much time to see what you're doing to me. You better think about what you're trying to do to me, yeah. Think, let your mind go, let yourself be free. Oh, freedom, freedom,
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Clay Henry to wrap things up with us here in hour number 2. You notice that we've had some Neil Diamond music playing earlier. 82nd birthday for Neil Diamond today. There are other we don't always do birthdays, but there's something about today that just sort of tops it off nicely. Ray Stevens, legendary comedic musician. Yakov Smirnoff, turning 72 today. He's not doing the show in Branson anymore, right?
I don't think that
20
theater,
years.
yeah, is. He may do shows, but not at that same theater like all the time that he used to.
And today, it is his birthday, but he would be 73 years old. John Belushi. Today is his birthday.
That
That's
college sweater, right? Like you see that sweater with college, you think John Belushi all the time.
That's right. Can't help but think. We already played it. I think it was a month or so ago. He just had way too many little chocolate donuts. That's exactly what it was that took Belushi out, right? Ooh. Clay, you're a Are you a Neil Diamond fan? We do talk some music with you. Yeah. Chuck liked him so much. I have a favorite Neil Diamond song, America. It's probably the first one I ever heard. Either that or Heartlight, because that came out when I was like 6 or 7, and E.T. was huge. But America, they come into America. That one always hit me in the feels.
I remember when I was a kid, Phil, at Mid-America Museum in Hot Springs, they had a laser light show, and I remember that one of the songs was "Coming to America" that went with the laser lights, and I think that may have been my first exposure to that song.
That's funny.
So it's always what I think of.
I always thought of laser light shows, Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Neil Diamond.
It was a patriotic take on the laser.
You can set anything to music, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Neil Diamond will live on in baseball and parks forever and ever.
Sweet Caroline, yeah.
And
They played in Fenway all the time.
Wasn't that song written about Caroline Kennedy?
I think so, but I don't think that they did that at Boston games until the movie. I don't think that was always a thing.
To the Jimmy Fallon movie, or who?
I don't think it was always.
Yeah.
Was that Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore?
Yeah, fever pitch.
There you go.
Yeah.
They do it at other ballparks too, and it just feels to me it's like, keep it at Fenway. I
thought,
still like the song.
I thought it was a Dave Matthews song that Neil Diamond covered.
My mom's name was Carolyn, and my dad would change the words and sing that to her.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Aww.
More cute stuff with Clay Henry and the rest of the halftime crew in hour number 3 next.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Back out around to Ford 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Ray, if someone's looking to put a little speed back in their life, a little fun back in their life, Randall Ford has several Mustangs to choose from that will solve that problem.
Yeah, GTs, Mach 1s, Shelbys, EcoBoost, you name it, we got it.
And there's more arriving daily because you look on the website, we have several that are in transit. So if they're looking for instance, this Mach 1 that's behind us, black, got the red trim level on it. It's gorgeous, beautiful car. You start it up and you just feel the power.
Oh, yeah. You can sit back in these things. They got the Recaro seats or with the tech package, heated and cool seats. A lot of people don't know. These things are loaded.
All you got to do is just stop by and see us and ask for Ray.
Ask for Ray.
There you go. Come by and see my friends at Randall Ford, one of the sales professionals that take care of you today. Answer all your questions at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a big winter storm is expected to move our way. We are expecting to see falling temperatures out of the 40s through the 30s. As a result, we will see the changeover from rain, possibly even some freezing rain, to some snowfall. Later on tonight, snow is expected to be heavy at times. Across the north, 6 to 10 inches of snow could fall. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Brewer to Jones for the slam. How about Matt Jones? Did he sky?
Weekdays from 11 to 2.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Third hour on halftime on a Tuesday. Clay Henry still with us here. 877-377-6963 to get with us. We have a couple of texts in here that Chris in Fayetteville said, well, Yakov Smirnoff lived in Bella Vista at some point. That's interesting. Kirby and Branson, thank the Lord for the nighttime is a good old Neil Diamond song. Okay. Take your calls and your texts if you want here on Neil Diamond's 82nd birthday. Matt Jones is so good at taking a 2-digit number and remembering somebody's uniform number.
Dude. Best route runner. He ran this 7 route, and for anybody who knows football terms, he was the best I've ever seen running. That's Jimmy Smith for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Legendary receiver. Talk about Hall of Fame guys. He's borderline, but, man, he could run it. You could know. He's like Larry Bird. He could point to the spot and say, I'm going to shoot the ball right here in this spot. He could run that route, and you could know he's going to run it and still get open. Jay Smooth.
82. John Stallworth, 82.
Oh, nice.
See, and I can't remember everybody's uniform number, but that's one that I could remember. It always helped, too, when you knew your receivers were in the 80s.
Yeah.
Always seemed to help me.
So when you're really good at this, I can call a name and you can give me his college number and his NFL number.
I'm not as good as you, Clay. I'm just a fan, yeah.
Lance Allworth.
No.
I don't know that number.
19 is a Charger. 23 is a Razorback.
23. That's a receiver number right there. I'd like to see the
the
Heath Schuler days come back.
Right?
Where he was 21. Wasn't there a quarterback at Ole Miss a few years back that was like 21?
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Wasn't it just this last year that the NFL allowed?
A couple years ago.
You can have any uniform number you want.
Some of you could be like you see a DN with the number 8. Yeah.
Right. Kind of messes things up a little bit. Can we get a kicker with a 56? I'd love to see a kicker with a linebacker's uniform number on it.
53, yeah.
We got basketball tonight at Bud Walton Arena. They're definitely not postponing or canceling the game. If you have tickets and you don't want to go, the game is on ESPN2. Students are being given free tickets to the game just via the access pass on their phone.
That's what I'd be doing, Phil. If we were up there not playing, we'd be going to the game on a snow day.
They have a limited number of concession stands that will be in operation and will serve a limited menu. This should be the game where you could BYOB. I know you can't, but this would be the game. I meant bread. That's what the second B was, okay? I didn't mean the other thing.
So you think that there has been a game where you couldn't?
Well, I mean, let's be honest about this here. Who hasn't, at some point in their life, walked into a basketball game, without a little something extra in the pocket or a Boda bag slung under the armpit or something like that? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can still do that.
Bought the whole bottle of grape juice, put it down your leg and with your belt. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Well, now remember, you do have the there is that. Well, you got to empty your pockets.
I'm not
and
saying
then walk
do that, yeah.
through the metal detector. But the one thing what I did as a college student at Indiana, my first
Plastic
2 years
doesn't
of college,
set it off.
Mm-hmm.
At Indiana, we had leather Boda bags that we would take to the football games. And these detectors don't detect leather. If they do, they don't say anything about it. So that would work out quite well. Leather Boda bags today.
Like a plastic canteen.
Well, looks like, I was checking on this earlier today, and we get a text from Adam in Wynn. You remember there's one open coaching spot on the football team right now.
On the defensive side.
Cornerbacks. Cornerbacks.
It could be anything. It's been how they line up, how they want their second, who could be that the extra guy's going to coach nickels. Could be anything. But they're replacing the cornerbacks coach, but the new secondary coach might coach corners and safeties.
I was going to say, do we have a safeties coach?
That's what Odom was.
Yeah.
That's what
That's what
coached.
he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a D-back coach of some kind, whether you be a nickel guy. And Clay, man, we need that.
They've hired one secondary coach. They could hire a second one.
As much as I think if you were to say, what do we need on this defensive side of the ball, we have to be better in the back end at tackling. Our D-backs have to be better. Secondary has to be better at tackling.
Yeah, it's really interesting to look around and see the way people break up their coaching staffs. Like Danny Ford, he had 2 offensive line coaches, and nobody had ever done that. He had a guy that coached centers and guards, and he had another guy that coached tackles and tight ends.
I've seen a run game and a pass game coordinator, so I've seen stuff like that where we had Coach Tice in Jacksonville who might be a run game guy, and then you'd have your receivers coach maybe be your pass game guy.
So Jeremiah Washburn, who played at Arkansas, his dad was Jim Washburn. He now coaches the outside linebackers and the defensive ends for the Eagles, and that's the best group in football right now. They are killers. Their pass rush from the outside linebacker and defensive end spot have been terrific. It's the strength of course, they've got got those inside tackles, and somebody else is coaching those guys.
Well,
Fletcher Cox, and who's their other tackle? They're just like superhuman guys.
Well, and your outside linebackers and your DNs is kind of the same thing, basically, if you're on a 3-4 or a 4-3. So it's kind of the same concept. That would be a cool position to coach, actually. That would be pretty cool.
Coaching some studs, aren't you? Yeah, that's the. I've always said the best athlete in the world is either an SEC tailback or an SEC defensive end. And I mean, translate that to the NFL level. But it's like that'll be something interesting to watch if you want to pick a team in that Eagles 49ers game. You say, okay, there's an old Razorback there coaching. Or you can go, well, Dre Greenlaw's playing that position for the other team.
How good is that dude, man? He was a little injured at Arkansas. He'd kind of get banged up. You want to talk about successful, just couldn't be happier for the kid, man. Just great career, just getting better each week. He is fun. He makes that San Francisco defense go.
Yeah, if you spend any time with Dre, you're pulling for him. You know, he was in foster care. Coach Ely, you know, basically took him in when he was at Fayetteville, and you know, it just seemed like he flourished from that time on. And you're right about his troubles at Arkansas, and if you remember, they were going through some problems with shoes, the Nike shoes. They had a lot of foot injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And Dre, I'm sure that's part of what got him, but he had broken feet and had those, you know, foot injuries and had
playing on that field turf. Yeah, your shoes aren't right. That field turf, man, that'll mess you up.
Really thin shoes. And, of course, all athletes, they do not want heavy shoes. Matt, you can speak.
You got to be light. That's right.
But you want those lighter shoes, but you also need to have they got to have
some sturdiness.
Good molding. Yeah. You know, they have those plastic heel molds and cups. The arch breaks down, and you're just always going to have a problem. And then you get into turf toe because the front of the shoe's not protective enough, and that'll kill you too.
Just don't find shoes that squeak, like these new shoes that I bought that fixed my plantar fasciitis. But now I can't creep up on the kids anymore if I'm wearing them.
If your feet don't hurt, you can squeak a lot, Phil.
Yeah, I'll take the squeaking over the pain.
No question.
It looks like now, according to On3 Sports, and then Tom Murphy wrote about it today in the Democrat. Darren Wilson will be the next cornerbacks coach.
He will coach corners too, right?
That's what they're saying in the paper. That's for sure. He was the defensive quality control assistant for cornerbacks at Florida last year, and has been an associate. He's been an assistant coach at UTSA and McNeese State. So, I trust who Sam Pittman hires. And, man, he's had to replace half his coaching staff, and finally it's rebuilt.
It's a big year. This is a big year for Coach Pittman. You know, if he's going to be our guy for the next 4 years here, how this ship's going to go. These hires, man, you look back at Coach Pittman's career, whatever his tenure is, this might be one of those years you look back and say, man, he went and got some right guys.
Well, you're remaking some situations, right? You're remaking your coaching staff.
New identity on defense.
That's exactly right, and you're remaking, a good chunk of that offensive line. You know, that's the thing. I mean, you've had 3 years, and you saw steady progress. Then you saw a jump up that second season, and whatever you think about this last year, still more wins than losses. And you still got to show that you can continue with that forward momentum. So much of that is rebuilding the roster and rebuilding your coaching staff. And it looks like a pretty good coaching staff here on first glance. There's still positions to worry about as far as the portal's concerned, but when was the first coach that left? I mean, that would have been the strength coach. That would have been the day after the Mizzou game. So let's start with that. It's been from the day after Thanksgiving until today that the coaching staff is now intact. It's been like, what is that? That's like 60 days or so. 2 months.
You call that reshuffling the deck.
Well, he said to get ready. You know, we were told there's going to be some changes, and we thought maybe it's going to all happen in a week, and it took a couple months for it to all kind of to come together.
And it'll all continue to keep coming together over the next, as far as the coaching staff is concerned, you got who you got, and we still don't know fully what the roster looks like. I do like this defensive tackle they picked up in the portal from Mizzou, Trajan Jeffcoat. Clay, I mean, he played for a team that stuffed the run pretty effectively, especially this year. And it feels to me like he's the guy that would play at nose guard over where Isaiah Nichols was. And I think Nichols was good. I don't know, maybe Jeffcoat could be a step up.
I think he's a bigger type, and that's what you need in that position, somebody that's kind of an anchor. Requires a double team. Does not have to make a lot of tackles, but he has to require a double team, and that really frees up your linebackers.
All right, let's break here. We've got much more to get to over the next 45 minutes. Got to remind you, though, about Cheap Sleep Furniture and Mattresses, locally owned for the past 16 years, featuring great customer service, and they just have amazing deals at Cheap Sleep Furniture and Mattresses at all their locations, too. Springdale, Bentonville, Conway, and Fort Smith. You can find all the deals at cheapsleepnow.com. They overstock up to 75% off retail prices year-round. You'll find name brands, Serta, Sealy, Beauty Rest mattresses are up to 70% off, and much more to choose from, plus a wide variety of couch and love seats starting at $8.99. You won't find these prices anywhere else, and same as cash, no credit needed for financing. Cheap Sleep Mattresses and Furniture, Springdale, Bentonville, Conway, and Fort Smith, and online, cheapsleepnow.com. Phone lines are open, 877-377-6963. The National Baseball Hall of Fame comes out with their if there are inductees. Find out at 5 o'clock. We'll dig into that for a moment after this.
Nothing ever seems to turn out the way it should. Talk about money, girl, I ain't got any. Seems like just one time I'm feeling good. Thank the Lord for the nighttime. Forget the day. The day of a uptight town. Baby, chase it away. I get a relaxation. It's a time to groove. I thank the Lord for the night time. I thank the Lord for you.
Arkansas, will you make the Final Four? In them wacky uniforms with the pigs with horns. And did I hear you say you were playing a game today with the home crowd yelling, woo, pig suey? Hey, those pigs may be hogs, but they're kosher to me. Capiche?
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas wins a national championship!
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our...
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The fence available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
traveling far without a home, but not without a star. Free, only want to be free. We huddle close, hang on to a dream. On the boats and on the planes, they're coming to America, never looking back again. They're coming to America.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Oh, it's coming down in Fayetteville right now. It's rain for right now. Looks like you might have a little patch of snow in the area, but it's on the way right now from Oklahoma, the white stuff. Right now it's just the wet stuff. And later on in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, our friend Josh Rawitch, who came on our show, the president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, will be announcing if there are any new Hall of Famers for this upcoming induction ceremony, which will include Fred McGriff, and we'll see if anybody else gets
the crime
in.
dog.
Crime Dog gets in from the Contemporary Era Committee. Last year, only David Ortiz was voted in on the writers' ballot. Now, some of the more famous names have fallen off the ballot because they've been on there for 10 years. Bonds, Clemens, Schilling, Sammy Sosa off the ballot after 10 years now. So, I mean, I don't know if there are any slam dunks in here right now. There aren't any slam dunks. Scott Rowland, maybe. Right? I think Rowland belongs in. Injuries really did him in throughout his career, but as far as third basemen are concerned, there really weren't many that were better in the game while he was around. Todd Helton, maybe. You know, Alex Rodriguez would be a slam dunk, but There's the
That's what I was
PEDs.
going to say. That those are the guys that seem like they would be home runs. Is your guys, but they're the PEDs. Do you think that's not going to get lifted anytime soon? Is it? That stigma, they're not going to get in.
Probably not. And the difference with A-Rod is that he was caught after the rules had already been instated and a whole testing regimen had been instated. So he found ways around all of that testing and was banned for a year. He admitted to it. He at least admitted to it. Maybe that gets him some extra votes for admitting to it.
I thought he lied, and then he admitted once he got caught.
That's right. You're right. He did. He lied nationally to Katie Couric. You're right. But, A-Rod, a guy who hit, let's see.
He's a Hall of Famer, though. I think
700 home runs. He got only 34% of the vote last. You got to get 75% of the vote getting in. And any of the returners, look, there are not going to be any first ballot Hall of Famers this year. The best the best first-year player that's on the ballot is Carlos Beltran, and he's not going to get in on the first ballot if he ever gets in. So, I think you could actually find this year that nobody gets in. Manny Ramirez, that's another guy who, is clouded in the whole PED thing. Jeff Kent probably belongs in. He's his 10th year. You compare his numbers to another guy that played the same position, Craig Biggio, although, Biggio also caught and played center field. Kent was maybe a better hitter. He just didn't have the 3,000 hits. This actually could be a year where nobody gets in.
Does Manny have anything to do with his attitude towards maybe the media and how he was, or does that all his attitude doesn't matter as much as it's the PEDs?
The whole Manny being Manny.
Yeah,
thing,
right. Like
one of the things that kind of made him that endeared him to fans.
I remember watching him play, and he was so upset about not wanting it. He did not take the bat off his shoulder. There's 2 outs to go in the 9th inning. They go up to pinch hit, and he didn't even act like he was going to swing because he was with some riff with the manager or something going on. So that, to me, that kind of always threw me off.
Andrew Jones is also an interesting candidate. Jones,
say no.
On Andrew Jones?
Yes.
I would tend to agree with you.
He had longevity, though. He played.
No, see, that's the thing about Jones. Like we think he had longevity because I think he was the youngest player to ever hit a home run in the World Series
with the Braves.
19. Right?
Yeah.
At the end of his age 30 season, he was practically done. He had another 4 years after that, but he wasn't any good anymore.
Okay.
So he had 11 years where he was pretty good. He had 430 some home runs. He won 10 straight Gold Gloves. He had a 51 homer season. But you can also kind of compare his offensive numbers to Torrey Hunter. Torrey's on the ballot this year too.
Arkansas guy.
He's not going to get in. He'll probably fall off the ballot this year. He got just over 5%. If you get under 5% of the vote, you're off the ballot the next season. I'm going to make a prediction. I think this could be a year where nobody gets in except the crime dog.
Yeah, and I'm fine with Alex Rodriguez not getting in. I think he probably would have had a Hall of Fame career, but I think you just have to wipe out 10 years of it. And the fact that J-Lo dumped him, that's going to be for me.
Clay, does it matter to you
for Ben
that the
Yes.
pitchers were using too?
I understand all that, but
Yeah.
you don't have to put the pitchers in either. So,
There you go. Fair enough.
Well, and that's where Andy Pettitte comes in here.
No
Pettitte's got a great Hall of Fame case, even if you're just looking at what he did in the postseason.
I was going to say his postseason alone, right? Like he was a stud.
But he also, was caught using HGH that he eventually admitted to. So I mean that ends up going. I mean, goes with you to the grave. It goes with you to the ballots too. This very well could be a year where nobody gets in, which is sad. There probably are. If I had a vote, I mean, you're allowed to vote for 10 of them. I would vote for Roland. I would vote for Jeff Kent. I'd vote for Ramirez, and I'd vote for A-Rod too, because you know how I view this.
Even if J-Lo dumped him.
I'd put J-Lo
It was
in the
mutual,
Hall of Fame
guys.
before
It was
him.
mutual.
And I don't even like. He is so disingenuous when you listen to him on Fox broadcasts.
He's a little arrogant, huh?
Well, he's just trying to basically.
He's smarter than you.
maneuver
Every
to
time he
become an
talks,
owner.
yeah, it's like he's talking down to you almost.
Speaking of broadcasts and listening to people talk, how do Cardinals fans feel about Chip Carey taking over the television broadcast? That one kind of surprised me when I saw that last night. Dan McLaughlin did a great job, but he had his third DUI, so not going to keep him around. I guess initially I don't know if they were offered this, but the reports came out that neither Joe Buck nor Bob Costas were interested in the job. So I guess that makes Carey like a third choice. I'm not really a Chip Carey fan, but the guy knows baseball and
he knows how to dial an Uber. It's like
that's that too. And he's got the lineage, I think, that Cardinals fans probably at least respect, being that his grandfather was a longtime voice of the Cardinals. So it probably won't make anybody not watch the game. They just want to make sure the game is on. It'll just be different, I guess, with him not doing Braves games for Braves fans. Do Braves fans care that Chip Carey won't be announcing their games anymore?
No.
Probably not.
They do, yeah. I think he'll do just fine. And the game, if the Cardinals win, everybody's going to say Skip Carey's great. If they lose, they'll say, well, I don't like the way he does the games. Well, not really. You just really don't like losing. Phil, I will ask you, would you think that people think you do a better job on wins or losses?
I think I do a better job on wins than losses.
No, I'm joking, but there's some truth to it. I can remember people telling me that when the Razorbacks are winning, my stories were awesome. Well, no, they just like the wins.
The beer tastes colder and the steak tastes better, Clay. That's right. When you win, it's just everybody's in a better mood.
Yeah, is it the arrow or the Indian? Well, it's I don't know. Might be the arrow.
I just think Cardinals fans just want the game to be on. Okay, they'll watch.
Watch. And they're going to win. The Cardinals, the days the Cardinals lose are small. They're a consistent winner and do enough. That franchise is usually going to be successful.
Are they? Would you say in baseball? Because in football, I think it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. When you talk about just consistency and longevity, Cardinals are up there. Like when you're talking about best run franchises.
Yankees, Dodgers, Cardinals.
Dodgers, yeah.
Well, and I agree. The Cardinals have always been an incredibly well-run franchise, and I think it's easy to be a Cardinals fan because your franchise tries. They try every single year. They kind of deserve your fandom when it comes right down to it. But yeah, they've been consistent for a long time now.
In football, Pittsburgh Steelers, man, like Green Bay. I put Green Bay up there, but they got lucky going Favre to Rodgers, so that helps when you got two Hall of Fame quarterbacks. But I think it's even harder in football to be that consistent. What is it? Tomlin still doesn't have a losing record. I mean, that is just ridiculous.
That's right. That's right. Carey's had a really interesting career. Do you remember that when Fox first got Major League Baseball and the NFL? Now, I don't remember if Buck was immediately on the NFL broadcast, but he was there when they got Major League Baseball. And Chip Carey and Joe Buck were signed together, almost, I think, around the exact same time, as scions of legendary broadcasters. Buck and Carey, those names carry a lot of weight. Joe Buck has gone on to be the voice and the face of Fox Sports for all those years and now doing his thing at ESPN. And Chip Carey, he didn't go national after that. I mean, he still was doing the Braves for a long time, but he didn't go national the way that Buck did. And I don't think Fox re-signed him after that. But being a television broadcaster for the Cardinals is almost the same as the Braves. It's like you're practically national because they're teams with national fan bases. All right, we're going to break, and we got to get into Alumni Hall, Name That Hog, in just a moment. We'll have a $25 gift card to Alumni Hall in Fayetteville for anybody who can name that hog right after this.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at BetSaracen.com.
Try something new at your tailgate or watch party this year with Lark, a full-spectrum seltzer brought to you by Ouachita Farms. You can catch a buzz without the booze since Lark is infused with just the right balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD. Lark comes in 4 refreshing flavors like strawberry guava, mango, grapefruit, and berry, and all are free of the bad stuff like sugar, carbs, calories, and alcohol. Find Lark at your local adult beverage store or have it shipped to your doorstep from larkhemp.com. That's larkhemp.com. Must be 21 to consume.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Thank you from Art's Barbecue and Burgers for a successful year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to shout out our amazing community of customers that we are grateful and thankful for, each and every one of you. Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to continue to enjoy our best barbecue, burgers, all-you-can-eat catfish every Friday night, and of course, the great sides and desserts. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers,
next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
We're so glad to see so many of you lovely people here tonight, and we would especially like to welcome all the representatives of Illinois' law enforcement community who have chosen to join us here in the Palace Hotel Ballroom at this time. We do sincerely hope you all enjoy the show, and please remember, people, that no matter who you are and what you do to live, thrive, and survive, there are still some things that make us all the same. You, me, them, everybody. Everybody.
Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
On what would have been John Belushi's 73rd birthday, the Blues Brothers taking us in here to name that hog. Brought to you by Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. We have a $25 gift card to give away to one lucky listener if you text us the correct answer And we're doing it only through texts. 877-377-6963 to name that hog. All right, we'll start here. I am from Crosset, Arkansas. You think somebody's going to get that off of the hometown?
There was
Sometimes
a guy
this happens
named
quite often.
Clay. You might remember this guy. Was it Brandon Mayweather or Merriweather? Like a little D-bag from Crosset, Arkansas. Do you remember that name?
Yeah, that'd be right.
Was he? What happened to him? Because he never made it to campus. He was supposed to be a stud.
Don't know.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for people to come in, can I tell my Illinois police officer story?
Sure. This sounds like a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fishing below Bull Shoals tailwater, and there's an elderly guy, and we come off the water, and I handed him some flies while we were out there. It was really nice to him. Got back to his truck, and it's got Illinois plates, and it's got "Be kind to state troopers." Had all kinds of little stickers and mementos that would make you think he would have a connection with law enforcement. And I mentioned the Blues Brothers to him in the Illinois State Police, and he just took out his hand, and I can't remember his name, but he gave me his card. I got his card in my wallet. He was colonel of the Illinois State Police and had a vacation home in Bull Shoals.
Huh.
So it's nice to have that kind of a card in your back pocket.
Agreed. I once was pulled over by an Oklahoma State policeman who didn't want to give me a ticket because once he had me sit in his car. That was unnerving. And then asked me, why are you going to Tulsa?
Yeah.
Very unnerving. And then he asked me, why are you going to Tulsa? I was doing Travelers games then. I'm like, well, I'm going there for baseball. I work for the Travelers. Leads to a 15-minute conversation with the officer about baseball, and I got off with a warning.
They need someone to talk to.
I agree. So did his drug-sniffing dog in the back of the car needed someone to speak to.
Was he your new friend? Yeah.
Well, he was looking at me like he was pretty interested, but I didn't have what he was looking for, that's for sure.
Good.
Name that hog. I am from Crosset, Arkansas. We have a couple people that have already sent in the right answer. The hometown gives it up sometimes.
We just need to do the hometown last from now on.
Well, I'll have to do that next week, unfortunately. I already gave up the goose as far as that was concerned. I was the assistant offensive line coach. The assistant offensive line coach for Arkansas's 1964 national champions. You know, the first time I ever saw the Razorbacks play a game of any kind, it was against this gentleman's team he was coaching them. I've talked about this before on the show. It would give it up immediately, but we already have plenty of people that have answered have given the right answer. It was the 1987 Orange Bowl. Was the first time I ever saw the Arkansas Razorbacks play anything right in front of my eyes. Family members took me to the game, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. Oklahoma just destroyed Arkansas.
First game I went to, Phil, was Arkansas, South Carolina, Madre Hill still running. So many touchdowns. I thought every game. I remember asking my dad. We won like 55-13. I remember asking my dad. He's like, they're not all like that, son.
I think your dad spoke the truth.
Right. I was like, who's this Madre Hill guy?
This will give it away completely here. I wrote a book with the title referencing my father's unusual occupation. Name of the book is Bootlegger's Boy.
Yeah.
And yes, it is most definitely Barry Switzer is the hog today. And look who the winner is. This is the guy, so I don't really think he even believes Arkansas will ever win a game in anything. Bruce in Nashville is the winner for today's $25 gift card to Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. And Bruce, since you live in Nashville, I'm just going to assume we're going to have to put that thing in the mail for you. So I'll text with you in a moment about that. Name that hog from Alumni Hall. That is your ultimate Razorback shopping experience with the best and largest selection of apparel for the entire family. Alumni Hall features Nike Golf, Champion, Columbia, all the gifts, all the accessories, and all of your tailgating needs. It's military and faculty all receive 10% off in store, and they have the Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall at North College Avenue or anytime at alumnihall.com. Right.
Right.
Congratulations, Bruce.
Right by the Whole Foods, Phil. Every time I go to Fayetteville, I go to that Whole Foods, and what's right beside it is that alumni hog right there. Yes,
Kale
sir.
chips and baseball caps.
Oh, and sparkling water. Yep, there you go.
I figured you'd kind of roll over there to the Chipotles too, right?
Man, I'm a Mexico guy. Tacos in a Pacifico all day, every day.
Yeah. So my first time to go cover an OU practice, 1978, when I went to the Tulsa World, Barry Switzer walked over and introduced himself to me, and he said, "I just want you to know that your dad was the keynote speaker at the football banquet when I was a senior at CrossFit in I think he said 54, 55. So he said, anything you need down here, you call me." That was a pretty good introduction.
And what Barry Switzer means to me is that 1987 Orange Bowl, the Oklahoma Sooners at that time, because they were bad boys of they were some of the bad boys of college football then, and then the 95 Dallas Cowboys with their win over the Steelers. He is the last Dallas Cowboy head coach to take that franchise even to a conference championship game.
Conference championship.
Man,
right.
So I forget how many years he was there, because Jimmy had won back-to-back, and then they didn't win one. They lost to San Fran maybe in the NFC championship game, and then Barry was able to take that team the next year, and they were able to win. Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool.
So and Bruce doesn't even want it. Oh wow! So I can pick somebody else to give this to. Yeah, I'll find somebody else to give this Alumni Hall gift card to. Too bad, Bruce. It was $25. Something you could do.
And he doesn't. Since don't let him enter it anymore. Just ignore him. If
I
he's
like
not
Bruce.
even going to play,
You don't get to get in the you didn't get 5% of the vote. You're off the ballot for the rest of the time.
Whoa, Matt.
Whoa.
Yeah, I like it.
You're done for now, man. You're done for now, Bruce. Now we appreciate you texting. As
Switzer was the most interesting figure that I covered, in my career. By far, the most interesting.
Out of Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones, and Barry Switzer, you'd want to go hang with Barry.
There's not even close.
Yeah.
I wouldn't last.
I understand.
Long,
Yeah.
But that's the guy that you want to roll with.
Yeah.
He's just fun. He's got that.
I'd like that. It sounds like he could tell some
up and away
stories.
Personality. Yeah, he's going to tell stories.
Yeah.
He wants you to tell stories.
He's seen a lot.
He's gonna, and now you need to make some decisions when you're with him. It's like, no, that's not where I'm going. I've had all I could have, and I don't want it. But I
don't want to turn into a pumpkin.
Things that Frank did after home games. He invited certain members of the media, which Bill Connors was one of them, and we would go to eat with Bill and Merv Johnson, and he would hold court. The restaurant was his. I don't mean he owned it. I mean everybody in the restaurant got to say hi, and I mean it was something to behold.
I even feel bad for Switzer now. Like I don't like that Cowboys team or anything, but I mean this is a guy that won a national champion. Did he win?
He won everywhere he went.
In college football. Did he take OU to a national title? I thought so.
Multiple.
I thought so too.
National championships. And a Super Bowl championship.
He won an Orange Bowl where they won a national title. Yeah.
Yeah, no question. I covered those games.
And yet there are many fans that will say, but he just did that with Jimmy's team.
And he had the Boz.
But he did it with his teams at OU. And I mean, there's people that have screwed up teams. There's no doubt about it. He won. When he had the best players, his teams would be successful. I mean, you ask Tom Osborne if you feel sorry for Barry Switzer. Because
they're not on each other's Christmas list, huh?
No, they are.
Oh.
They're friends. It was hilarious.
Nebraska and OU.
They both had coaches shows, TV shows, the night before home games. And Barry would pop up on the set while Tom is doing his show. And then Tom would visit the studio when Barry's doing his show in Norman. It was hilarious. They're friends, and they kept it civil off the field, which many coaches did not. But Frank Broyles and Darryl Royal had the same relationship.
You look at Switzer's career at Oklahoma, and I wonder if in today's world that he would have been able to survive 4 consecutive years without 10 wins. I mean, out of the first 8 seasons that Switzer was the head coach at Oklahoma, they won 10 games in 9 of them. I mean, this is when you didn't play 12 games. And then they go 4 years in a row, 7 wins, 8 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins. Like, I think that would do in some really successful coaches in college football.
Especially when you start off
like that.
Yeah, when you start off and set that bar and that expectation at OU, that is a blue blood football school. I'm with you.
All right, we got a break and wrap up the show in just a moment. Might have time for a call or a text, 877-377-6963. And congratulations goes to Matt Blackston, who is going to be the winner for today's $25 gift card. You can also thank Bruce in Nashville, Matt, because he didn't want the money today. We'll wrap halftime up after this.
Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now I look at the night.
Well, if you're in the market looking for your next vehicle, Randall Ford is the place to shop. And, you know, Tyler, when it comes to Randall Ford, they don't just specialize in Fords. We also have a little bit of something for everyone.
That's it, Jimmy. We've got a little bit of everything. We've got, a Mercedes right now. We've got a Jaguar if you've got an acquired taste. We've got a Scat Pack Charger out here, 2020, 20,000 miles, price to go. We've got a little bit of everything on our lot right now.
You know, if someone's looking for new vehicles, like maybe Bronco Sports F-150s, you have those in stock as well. Not a lot of dealerships have that luxury.
Oh, no one does. We're one of the few here at Randall Ford. Bronco Sports, take your pick. We've got, just about every trim level, every color. We've got several F-150s on the lot right now.
Okay, come by and just see Tyler.
See Tyler, see Casey, see Jimmy, Randall Ford.
There you go. Appreciate you, man. Hey, stop by and see us. You can also shop us 24/7 on the web at randallford.com or simply stop by at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
The Arkansas Razorback football team is coming off back-to-back winning seasons and a Liberty Bowl victory. As Coach Sam Pittman and the team look ahead towards the 2023 season, it's time for Razorback fans to do so as well. The deadline to renew your Razorback football season tickets and Razorback Foundation pledge is Wednesday, March 1st. You don't want to miss a second of the action in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium next season in 2023, so head on over to ArkansasRazorbacks.com and renew today.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Crackling rosy, get on board. We gonna ride till there ain't no more to go. Taking it slow. Lord, don't you know, I'll have me a time with a poor man's lady, hitching on a twilight train. Ain't nothing here that I care to take along. Maybe a song to sing when I want. Don't need to say please to no man for a happy tune. Oh, love my rosy child, you got the way to make me happy. You and me, we go in style. Crackling rose, you're store-bought woman, but you make me sing like a guitar humming. So hang on to me, girl, our song keeps running.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hogs are a 12.5-point favorite on BetSarazin for the LSU game today. I'd buy into that. I think that, hey, I don't really care how many points they score or how many points they win by. I just need one more than the opponent, but I can buy into 12.5-point favorite. And look, I know LSU's played really good teams of late. I think Arkansas is trending in the direction of being a really good team. Hopefully that continues. LSU has lost the last 5 games by an average of 20.5 points. So I hope this is not a close game. I really do, because they have not played close games of late. Not against A&M, not against Florida, certainly not against Bama. Auburn and Tennessee beat them by a combined 39. So, but a win will be
Let's
a
get
win.
after them on the defensive end, Phil, get some transition points, and yeah, run away and hide, get up by 8, 9, 10 points, and just kind of keep it there.
And
yeah.
that's the way to do it today, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way that Arkansas, this team has been really good under Muss for most of his tenure at turning turnovers into points.
Easy buckets.
Defense first. Get your bucket after you
Ricky
stop
Council's
them.
going to have a big day today, Phil. Yes, Devo's going to keep going. I got Ricky probably getting 20 today.
I like the way Walsh and Devo are playing right now.
Walsh too, right? Walsh has really kind of turned the page.
Just got to keep him out of foul trouble.
He's just so athletic at that 4 spot, Clay. He's a matchup nightmare there. Yeah.
Just no reaching. He likes to kind of, when the ball goes down in the lane, it might not be his guy. He'll reach in and try to poke it out, and he gets it sometimes. But
those reaching to calls, that's where they call those ticky-tackies on you.
And they'll call 1 or 2 early, and then you're done. But he has been an offensive machine, really efficient. And then you look at the last few games, Devo, it's like, wow, he thinks he's Pat Bradley.
Woo!
Now remember the last time these teams played, there were a lot of no calls that looked like you could have gotten calls depending on which way the game was called.
They let him play.
Right?
Yeah.
They let him play in that game.
Yeah,
it felt like they let him play in the Ole Miss game too. So I don't know what'll be I don't know who the referees are today.
That first half when Arkansas scored 19, there were bricks in the air.
Yes. That's true. I mean, that's the other aspect of it too. I mean, you can point to the fouls.
You could look at the bricks, and they didn't even have any spin to them. They weren't spinning right.
4 for 25 from the 3-point line in that game.
It was worse in the first half.
Yeah, first half. That's right. They were. Let me look here.
19
0 for
points in the
13.
first half. Yep, it was bricklaying.
Well, we'll hopefully be talking about an Arkansas win
shoot
tomorrow.
Like that in Bud Walton.
No, you're right. The rims are always nicer at home, and with a packed house featuring a lot of students, the students getting free tickets, it's going to be an interesting atmosphere at Bud Walton today. We'll have the Eastside Liquor halftime podcast coming out very soon. Ruskin and Zach take you from
They are here. They are in the room.
They are in the 99.5 studios. That's right.
Where I'm at.
They're taking you right up to Learfield pregame at 5:30. Chuck and Zim get the call at 6 o'clock, and we're with you tomorrow. So for Clay Henry, for Matt Travis, for Matt Jones, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Tuesday and go Hogs. Get up, get out, and get better.